Today, we're going to do my 2026 Stanley Cup Playoff predictions bracket. For those of you that don't know, I'm from Minnesota. I'm a Minnesota Wild fan. And this hoodie, thank you for Tahoe Sports for doing a fundraiser to go towards the GoFundMe for a lost friend, Minnesota media member and writer for NHL.com, Jessie Pierce. She was a friend and family to all of us. Some of us knew her in different ways. I knew her through YouTube and Twitter, of course. Was hoping next time I went home that I'd be able to have a day to spend time, maybe have a drink with her, maybe set football. Those that don't know, I am Urban, go by Urban Champ on Twitter, and Daddy Urban on Twitch. And today we're going to do our playoff bracket. Yes, I'm biased. Yes, I'm a Wild fan. Screw the Dallas Stars. And here's our bracket. In the first round, we're going to start with the East Coast. We're going with Buffalo versus Boston. I'm going with Buffalo. I believe it'll be 5 or 6 games. I'm going to go with 6 just because Boston's going to find a way to win 1 or 2. Right? I'm going to go with 6. Tampa versus Montreal. I'm going to go with Tampa. You got the curse of Corey Perry. Will it live on? We're going to find out now, aren't we? Carolina and Ottawa. No brainer. You have to go Carolina. Both teams struggle with goaltending, but Carolina's Carolina. So I'm going with Carolina. Pittsburgh and Philly. I'm going with Pittsburgh. I'm going with Sid the Kid, now the old man at 38 years old. Hasn't slowed down. Continues to keep going somehow, some way. In the West, Colorado and LA. If you're going with LA, you've been drinking too many of these, haven't you? I'm going with Colorado in 5. I expect a sweep, but I'm going 5 because there's always a way where a team like LA can just find a way to win one. Dallas and Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota. I have Minnesota in 5. It may go 6, but I have him in 5. I believe in the young goaltender and Jesper Wallstedt. I've been on that bus for a while. You got Krill, you got Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber. Minnesota team is insanely deep. Tarasenko had 23 goals this year. A lot of people are like, what did we get him? We got him for nothing. His contract's 4.7, a little high. Sure. But you know what? I believed in him. I said he would challenge 30. He had a slow start. He missed, I believe it was 10 games due to injury. Still won 23. That's pretty good. Let's say he doesn't have such a slow start. Let's say he doesn't miss 10 games. Easily he's in that 25 to 30 range, which is what I honestly predicted. And you can't predict injuries. They're going to happen. Sometimes it's 1 game. Sometimes it's 10. Sometimes it's a season. Like Barkov for Florida this year. It happens. But Minnesota over Dallas. Vegas versus Utah. Utah in their first ever playoff. They might give Vegas heck. Vegas might take them in 5. This might go 7. I'm going Vegas because I'm a big believer in torts. John Tortorella, if I played hockey, or any sport, a coach like Tortorella is one I want. A no BS kind of guy. I love that. Edmonton and Anaheim. This was the hardest pick in the first round between Edmonton and Anaheim. I'm going Anaheim on a hunch because Anaheim, Dostal, more likely to steal a game than any of the goalies for Edmonton. You don't know who they're going to put in net. They're all terrible. So I'm going Anaheim. Edmonton out in the first round. And I don't know for sure, but that's probably the first time ever that the last 2 years of Stanley Cup finalists were both out by the end of the first round. Obviously, 4 didn't make it, so you already got 1 out. Edmonton loses. That might be the first time ever that happens. So in the second round, you got Buffalo versus Tampa. That's an interesting series. Buffalo, a lot of speed, a lot of young talent, a team we've all been waiting for them to do something. And at the beginning, you're like, oh my God, it's Buffalo. Man, Buffalo sucks. We all said it. I said it. I didn't tweet it. I went and looked. I didn't tweet it. But I have definitely said it out loud. I'm like, oh my God, Buffalo. Like, come on. Why can't these fans have anything? They deserve it. And they won this insane tear since Middle of December. Like, what? They just fired the GM, didn't fire the coach, didn't really trade anybody out. But they go on a tear to have one of the best teams in all of hockey. I think they were the best since then. It's incredible. It really is. But it's Tampa. You got the Corey Perry curse. Andrei Vasilevsky, who, to me, is still the best goalie in hockey. Like, he can steal any game, any moment. You got Kucherov. You got Point coming back, if he's not already back. I might be wrong on that one. But they have this weird ability to defend. Vasilevsky, able to steal games. So I have Tampa winning that. I have it going 7 against Buffalo. I have that being a hell of a series. Carolina and Pittsburgh. I have Carolina on 5. They got a little bit of an easy road, unfortunately. But yeah, I have Carolina beating Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't have a goalie. Stuart Skinner. Maybe he somehow wills them to the finals. But it's Stuart Skinner. He does the same thing every year. Shutout. Gives up 5. Shutout. Gives up 5. Gives up 1. Gives up 5. There's no consistency in his game other than high-low. High-low. You know? Back to the West. I have Colorado and Minnesota in the second round. I have Minnesota in 6. Minnesota in 6. We are going to do this. We have suffered for too long as Minnesota sports fans. We have suffered through too much loss in the month of March. Those of you who don't know, which I don't think any of you haven't even talked about, March 5th, I lost my grandfather. He was 87, fighting dementia, had pneumonia, had to be put in life support on February 6th. I found out February 20th through a whole situation that's been going on for the last 2 years as dementia. So my dad found out as well. He told me a couple days later after I'd talked to him. That earlier that day, he found out later. So I called him a couple days later, and that's when he told me that he found out. And that was March 5th. March 10th was my 37th birthday. For those of you keeping track, my 4th birthday was the day the Dallas Stars announced they were leaving Minnesota to go to Dallas. Those of you that don't know, which none of you do, that Christmas, when I was 3, Christmas 92, I got my first pair of Brett Hull ice skates. Was just getting into hockey. Was a North Stars fan. And on my 4th birthday, boom, they announced they were leaving Minnesota. And I just become a fan of the sport. Don't have a team again until 2000 with Minnesota Wild. I bleed Minnesota Wild, green and gold, red and white. Love the Minnesota Wild. And they're beating Colorado. They go to the Western Conference Final for the first time since 2003, riding Jesper Wallstedt, who I believe will have a playoff similar to 2012 Jonathan Quick of the LA Kings. Book it. That's my gut feeling. Then we go to Vegas and Anaheim in the second round. I'm going with Vegas in 6. Anaheim's a good young team. They're fast. They have a good goaltender. Better than Vegas's, as we've seen. But that Torts magic. I believe it's going to get them to the conference final. Then you go back to the East. You got Tampa and Carolina. Do I have to say it again? Freaking Corey Perry. There's no way this dude does it again, right? Gets the Stanley Cup final again. I'm not betting against it until it fails. You can't. Like, come on. Like, holy, bro. He's still playing so well in his 40s. He's 41, about to be 42. Like, come on. How? I don't get it. But he's doing it. It's Carolina, they don't have the goaltending. Like, they've got 3 goalies. They're not great. They have their moments. Just no consistency. They play a good team game, get a lot of shots. But they're really not overall that skilled, as good of a team game as they play. Now, does that make a change at goaltending? Or not goaltending, at coach? Does it make a change at GM position? I don't know. You got some guys that are getting up there in age. Eric Stahl's one. They already lost Brett Burns before. Now he's over in Colorado. Frederick Anderson. He's about to be done. He's probably done in Carolina for this year, I would think. I have Tampa Bay going to the Stanley Cup Final. In the West, you have Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. I told you I'm biased, right? Minnesota, so they beat Colorado in the season series this year. They didn't lose the series against Dallas. I mean, they beat them. They were 2-1-1, right? Both those series. Then you got Vegas, who they swept 3-0. That's your conference final matchup. I have Minnesota beating them again. This series, I believe, will go 6. Possibly 7. But I have the Wild coming out on top. So you have Minnesota Wild and Tampa Bay Lightning in your Stanley Cup Final in 2026. Who am I going? Corey Perry gonna break the curse? Minnesota Wild, baby. This is our time. Their time is done. Finished. This is Minnesota time. The Minnesota Wild win the Stanley Cup Finals in 6 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2026. My grandpa never got a hockey championship in all his years. Got to see the Twins 87-91. Never got to see a basketball championship. Never got to see a football. Got to see college, technically. He was young. He was 3 in 1941 when the Gophers won the Natty. So, I mean, technically, that's a lot of years. That really is a lot of years to not see championships when it comes to men's sports in Minnesota. That's pretty insane, especially in the pro level. 2, 87-91. He was born in 38. Minnesota Wild are going to do it in 2026. In Guerin, we trust. Line Heathens for Jesse Pierce. Let's go get it.